When alcohol gets into a narcissist system, they become a bigger narcissist. From heightened aggression to unexpected confessions, alcohol acts like a magnifying glass on a narcissist's personality. Let's find out more by talking about how a narcissist behaves when alcohol gets into their system. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. I help survivors of narcissistic abuse go from feeling broken, hopeless, and confused to healed, empowered, and thriving. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let's start with a question. How did the narcissist who hurt you behave when under the influence of alcohol? Did they become more overt, or did their narcissism get suppressed? Drop your answers in the comments below and help other survivors feel less alone in their journey of healing and recovery. Let's start with number 1. They get really angry and scary. They go from being kind of their casual narcissistic self to becoming like a volcano that's about to explode. And when they explode, it's like fireworks of mean words, and sometimes they even get physical. This reminds me of my own experience with my maternal uncle. He would get drunk on occasions like weddings. Everyone would be happy and celebrating, and then my uncle would come in a horrible state, yelling, cursing, and breaking things. It was like watching a storm gathering. His words would get louder and meaner, and his actions more wild. He would become so angry that other people had to restrain him and lock him in a room. Things like these aren't something that just accidentally happen because of the alcohol. No, narcissists know what they are doing. They use these moments to take control and make everyone pay attention to them. This is what I mean when I say alcohol amplifies the hostility when it gets into a narcissist system. The aggression is like turning up the volume on a speaker. It gets so loud and intense that it takes over the whole room. And sadly, this ruins what is supposed to be a happy occasion for everyone else. Number 2, they mask their shame through alcohol. When consuming alcohol, a narcissist essentially creates a dissociative barrier between their true self and the persona they show to the world. This barrier serves to detach them from their rottenness and the reality of their shame. This dissociation, facilitated by alcohol, enables them to maintain the facade of omnipotence as it numbs their awareness of their inadequacy, although temporarily. This dissociative barrier also strengthens their disconnection from the feelings and concerns of others. In other words, they become more unempathetic and unkind. The alcohol-induced dissociative state allows a narcissist to not only escape their own shame, but also further detach themselves from any sense of guilt or responsibility for the hurt they might inflict on others. In this state, they are fortified behind a wall, isolated from both their own shame and the impact of their actions on those around them. Number 3, their manipulative nature becomes magnified. When they consume alcohol, their behavior takes a darker turn in the form of deceit and manipulation. As I was talking about dissociation, sometimes their rottenness comes more to the surface and all the barriers are just brought down by alcohol. One may think that narcissists lose access to that evil side of theirs when they drink, but no, that doesn't happen. Sometimes the opposite happens. Their evil nature takes the front seat and their predatory senses sharpen and work better. Their grandiosity and entitlement break through the facade and come to display, especially if it is a covert narcissist. You already know, shifting of blame and projection is a hallmark of narcissistic behavior. However, when alcohol is involved, these tactics are more pronounced. The reason for this heightened manipulation is that alcohol lowers their inhibitions. In simpler terms, it is like taking the brakes of a car. They become reckless and are likely to go to even greater lengths in their deceit and manipulation of others. Number 4, they may confess their crimes. They may show you who they are. Sometimes alcohol lifts the veil and the narcissist confesses their true intentions or feelings. These confessions can take on two distinct forms. First, they might engage in projection, which involves attributing their own behaviors and feelings to someone else more overtly and closely, because even when they are not under the influence, they project. That is how they survive. But when this stuff is in their system, it becomes more overt and they become more aggressive in projecting things on other people. You, friends, anyone, that becomes the target. The second form the confessions might take is a more honest admission. In a rare moment of clarity, the narcissist might divulge genuine feelings or intentions. These moments can be fleeting and are often surrounded by the usual narcissistic behaviors, but they can provide insight into the true nature of this individual. They may say things like, "I hate myself, I feel empty," or "Peace feels boring, I love it when there is chaos and drama." You get to see a glimpse of the person who lives behind the facade, but if you ask them about the same when they are sober, they will completely deny saying any of that. That is how they function. In conclusion, we can say narcissists do not react well to alcohol. If we're talking about covert narcissists, they become overt once it gets into their system. And if we are talking about overt narcissists, they become even more grandiose. It brings their true nature to their surface, and it's also important to understand that they use it to suppress their real emotions. Well, they do not have a lot of them. They feel shame, rage, and just, a few of the emotions available for us to feel. But alcohol also acts as a dissociative barrier to cut them off temporarily from their reality. That was it for today's episode. I hope you found it insightful. If you did, let me know in the comments. Share this episode with others. I'll talk with you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.